Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone had a good holiday. Today's video is going to be about a confession. Basically, I sold all of my ETH and put it all into Sol. This could have been a mistake, but I'm a true believer in Sol, Solana, and I'm going to explain to you in this video why I did what I did. So my goals aren't your goals. Obviously don't do what I do, but I just have a high conviction in Solana and their ecosystem. And I think that, that for me, that's the best decision. Now, that's what I did this week. My portfolio that I posted a video a few weeks ago with all my favorite projects, I'm still going to be DCAing into those projects. But as far as my belief between ETH and Sol, I'm all in on Sol at the moment. And guys, if you like that video, if you disagree with me, that's cool. Please leave a comment. We'll see what we got. But I'm gonna show you why I'm putting all my chips in on Sol as far as the top L1. I'm still believing some other ones like Avalanche and Cardano and the other ones. But right now, as far as being the top dog, I'm putting my money on Sol. So let's take a look, and I'm gonna tell you why I believe what I do. So if we look at, this is a chart according to Sentiment, and basically this is social media as far as what's hot right now, what people are talking about. You see that number one is Sol. Trending probably mainly because of the popularity of Bonk. It's a meme, and I've said it many, many times on this channel. Memes bring excitement to the space. Although they have no utility, people are always looking for the golden ticket, the next lottery ticket to make them a millionaire. And so memes bring a lot of people into the space, and once they're into the space, that's when they learn about others. But if you look at the top right now is Sol, right? Near one I talked about the intro of this video, that's also a popular one, Injective, and Say number 6. I'm going to make another video this week about that one. Is a very speculative play, but I think it's going to do very well in this next bull cycle. ETH number 7, and so on. Now, if we just to talk about that and why Sol is popping right now, although it's taking a breather currently, it's not raising its high. I thought it was going to hit 130, didn't do that. But before things go up, they can't go up forever, and they have to come down, take a breather, and then make that next leg up. But if you look at this chart here, also from Sentiment, you see that the top trending tokens, Bonk, right? Bonk. This is in November. Bonk again. Bonk is basically what's driving a lot of the FOMO into Solana, I believe. A lot of DEX usage and all of that. Not to mention that Coinbase also lists a lot of Solana tokens, right? Right now, Coinbase is listing ERC20 tokens and SOL tokens. And that's helping the drive, the momentum, and the traction as well to the space. Now, today, as of the point of me making this video, we see that things are taking a breather. Bitcoin is down 42,000. Sol is down 2.5%. And Solana, look at the deep red, down 10%. For me, I'm just waiting for it to go down a little bit more. I'm DCAing. Every time I get paid, I'm DCAing into Sol. And also other projects. But right now, my concentration is Sol, BTC, and the other ones that I've talked about in this video. But when I'm comparing ETH to Sol, my DCAing is going to be into Sol, right? So now let's take a look at ETH versus Sol. And if we look at the past 7 days, right? 7 days activity, we see Sol is up 50% compared to ETH, 1.5%. Now, listen, this video is not me saying that ETH is dying or anything like that. I'm just thinking that the faster horse or the faster return on investment is probably going to be Sol at this point. I know ETH is going to do very well come next top of the bull cycle. I'm not saying it's going to die, but for me, I'd rather get more of a coin versus less of one. ETH right now at a price point of 2,200, depending on what your salary range is and what you can do, you're probably not going to get much ETH versus Sol, where I see the upside is very, very likely, and I can get more of it at a cheaper price point. But if we look at the last 7 days, you see 50% versus 1.5%. And just looking at that snapshot alone, I'd rather take Solana versus ETH, right? So now let's take a look at on-chain activity. If we look at total daily active addresses, and this is most of the L1s in this on this chart here, and this is as of Christmas Day. Solana has 790,000 versus ETH 362,000. Near is getting up there. Near is at 614,000, and Avalanche, the C chain, is 61,000. Cardano did not report. If we look at total daily transactions on each chain, Solana's at 23.5 million, Avalanche 5.7, and ETH at 1.1. Let me repeat that. ETH 1.1 million versus Solana 23.5 million daily transactions. Now, if we look at DEX volume, right, we know that ETH is a top dog. It's been here forever. Safe, people like it, decentralized, all of that. DEX volume for ETH is at 1.8 or 1.8 billion. Solana 895 million. So DEX volume is definitely creeping up there, and we'll see. We'll see. And green is going to be Solana, right? Look at that. Just like it's just on an uptrend. Up. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens with that, right? So now let's take a look at this here. This chart is from Wormhole Scan, and we see that ETH, my whole theory on Solana and ETH, I think Solana is cheaper. It's, I like the usage of it when I use the DEXs and everything like that. And I just get so frustrated, especially when things heat up, when I'm using Uniswap and I'm trying to buy something and the ETH fees are ridiculous. It's just crazy versus when I go on to Radium or I use my Phantom wallet, I can get something, I can swap it, and it's very, very cheap. In the date of inflation where everything's very, very expensive, I just think the use case for Solana is crazy. It's cheaper and it's faster. But, and I'm thinking other people are starting to see the same thing. According to this scan here, you see that, look at the market cap, and just like all the liquidity is starting to go on to other projects, right? 53.4% to Solana. Sui, surprisingly, is getting some of it as well at 40.6%. And then everything else, right? Arbitrum, Say, we'll have another video about that. That's pretty nice. And Base and Polygon. But out of all of these, you see Solana, because I say top L1 is number one. And Sui, although some of the technology, Sui is pretty good. These are the guys from Facebook that came up with their own L1. But as far as the inflation, they just rein in tokens, investor unlocks, and everything like that. I think it's going to impact the price for Sui. So I don't know how high it can go. Versus Solana, we don't have that much of that. So out of all of these, Solana, Say, Avalanche, or other ones that I'm looking at, Cardano, obviously. But right now, as far as Ethereum, it's starting to lose market share because of the reasons I just talked about. Too expensive, slower. I know they have L2s to help scaling, but whatever. Solana, I think, is eating a lot of that market share. Now, if we look at ETH on-chain activity, right? This is according to Glassnode. ETH active addresses flat in 2023, around 390,000 a day. Just remains flat. And we just looked at the Artemis chart that I showed you that showed, on-chain activity for Solana is popping right now. It's pretty high and very active. So that you have that. And also, this is an into the block chart, or basically just some data that I got from them. And this is year-to-date market cap change. And look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 163%. ETH's up 85%. Solana's up 744%. This is market cap. 744% versus ETH 85%. ADA's up 145%. AVAX, Avalanche, up 341%. Link up 199%. But you get the picture. Basically, if you look at the market cap change for all of these projects versus ETH, ETH is very slow. And that could be related to what I just showed you here, right? Just a lot of liquidity and people are moving on to different chains, different technology. They want something faster. They want something cheaper. So that's that. Now, ETH is not, again, I still believe in ETH. They're still killing it as far as TBL goes. Look at that, 27.9 billion total value locked into ETH. But Solana's on the come up. Not too long ago, I've been making videos for a little bit now. Solana was not in the top 15. It is currently top 5, right? With 1.5 billion total value locked. As things heat up, and if everything continues the way it is, who's to say that that won't get much, much closer? Solana's ahead of even some L2s, Optimism, Polygon, Base. And the only thing standing in its way right now is Arbitrum. you know, and then after that you have Tron, and that's Justin Sun and what the things he does. I don't know that I believe that too much, and not too much after that. It's going to be ETH. So we'll see what happens. Coin shares, as far as smart money goes, institutional investors, where are they investing their money? You always got to pay attention to them. They know they have access to information that you and I don't have access to. So they know what's going, you know, chances are, that's why they say top 1% always stay richer than the rest of us. They have the information. So it's important to look at coin shares and where institutional money is going. And we see for the week, this was last week, Solana is getting 10.6 million. ADA 3 million, XRP 2.7 million, and Link 2 million. Not, you won't see this on the chart, but Ethereum actually had an outflow. So basically money's leaving out of Ethereum into Solana, 10.6 million inflows. Now, if we look at other projects on the Solana ecosystem, you know, I mentioned that these will probably be some good investments as well. That's what I'll be looking to do. I've been doing that slowly but surely a little bit during the fourth quarter of this year, but next year, hardcore, as the price of Solana goes up, I think projects within it, especially DEXs, are going to do very, very well. Some of these projects, we have Render, which is like a data storage space for Solana, I think will do pretty well. Helium, which is the hotspot 5G, that's doing pretty well. They just had a big partnership, I believe, with T-Mobile. Right now it's taking a breather. You see that is down for the last 7 days, 20%. Bonk, obviously, top meme coin right now. You know, it's taking a breather. I believe Bonk could be the next sheep for the next bull cycle. Pith, I think, is going to be a very, very, very good play. Oracle space. Right now, Link is taking, you know, the lead, but I think Pith can eat into that market share for sure. Radium, DEX, I think it's a good investment. Look at for the past 7 days up 90%. That's just based off the strength of Solana right now. Jitto, they had the free airdrop some weeks back. You're taking a little breather for the last 7 days up 7.6%, and so on. You know, you get a chance, take a look at the projects on Solana, and, you know, do your research and invest where you think you can. But I think there's a lot of potential here, especially for this next bull cycle. Now, Fire Dancer is also, on top of everything we just talked about, Fire Dancer is still coming out, set to launch on Solana. And it's going to happen next year, I don't know, maybe third or fourth quarter 2024. What is the importance of Fire Dancer? Conference that Solana had, it processed up to 1 million transactions per second. Not theoretical, it was tested, it happened. Obviously, it didn't happen, you know, live and everything like that, but there was potential for it to actually take place. If you can get a chain that can process that many transactions per second, boom. There you have the one chain that can handle a lot of traffic. A lot of people come on it, Visa and all these other companies. That's when you could see things change for the crypto space, right? We'll see. But some of the benefits, this is a good thread that I saw on Reddit of Fire Dancer when it actually launches, is improved performance and scalability, enhanced reliability, more efficient, open source code base, and more failure points and options. So as far as improved performance and scalability, the Fire Dancer client is designed to support a higher number of concurrent transactions and includes support for sharding, which can improve the overall performance and scalability of the Solana ecosystem. Enhanced reliability, this is important, includes a number of optimizations and enhancements to improve its overall reliability, which can result in fewer downtime incidents and a more stable network. That is the dark cloud hanging over Solana. The skeptics will say that it is centralized, backed by a lot of VCs, you know, and if you're into decentralization, it's not for you, right? You probably want to stick with Cardano, the likes of that, and Ethereum. But, and then secondly would be the outages. Last year it had some issues, and people, you know, the joke is Solana's broken. You need to unplug it, plug it back so it can reboot. You have a lot of TVL. People have their money conducting business on the chain. They don't want any security issues and things going down, especially when it's time to make trades and make money. Those are the two things. If Fire Dancer can launch, well, before I get to that, we see that with all this traffic happening right now, we just looked at the on-chain metrics, no outages, right? Nothing. If you add this Fire Dancer on, you have increased speed, increased security, you know, things are just looking perfect. So I hope, and we'll just monitor Fire Dancer and see if it launches when they say it will. So I got this from CoinShares article about Solana, some of the strengths. Solana boosts censorship resistance by maximizing the number of validators required to reach 33 threshold, which would allow bad actors to collude. So your hacks, right? By focusing on hardware, Solana can take advantage of Moore's law, which suggests that the speed of hardware doubles every 2 years and costs half. You look at that. Quicker and cheaper. Now, the issues, right? The way liquidity is spread across different Ethereum L2 protocols can make Solana, where all transactions processed on a single chain, more attractive. And we looked at the wormhole chart showing that liquidity is leaving ETH and going into other L1s, and Solana's taking a majority of that business. Solana's speed and cost advantages outweigh prevention measures, present an opportunity to secure market share in DeFi, NFTs, gaming, and social media. Now, the weaknesses are going to be Solana's focus on speed, cost, censorship resistant, leaves the network vulnerable to cyber attacks and lack of capacity, causing disruption for 22 hours in 2023. So these are the things we're talking about, the dark clouds. The combination of proof of history and turbine, Solana's block propagation mechanism encourages deterministic block creation, which bad actors can use to predict and attack new blocks. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? Now, I want to leave you guys with this story. If you're old like me, I'm not that old, but if you're old like me, you remember Blockbuster. And where's Blockbuster now? It is gone. And I see a lot of similarities between the top L1 of ETH, which everyone, it was there, it was the first one. People believe in the security and everything like that, versus a newcomer. And some of these newcomers, you have Solana, AVAX, Cardano, like I talked about, that have the newer technology. And, it's a shiny new car and people are interested in it. So if we look at this story, we see that the trouble for Blockbuster was on the horizon in 1997. And that's when Netflix was founded, right? And Blockbuster was known for charging, late fees. And they made a lot of money from these late fees, over 800 million, right? And the reason that Netflix was founded, the founder said because of late fees, he wanted to find an alternative to that. Give people, the population in general, something cheaper, right? Something cheaper, where they didn't have to pay the fines. And hence that was the birth of Netflix. And then in 2000, Blockbuster made the first mistake that would mark its demise. It decided not to buy Netflix. They could have bought it for $50 million. They decided not to do that. And right after that, we all know Netflix came on to become more popular and more profitable than Blockbuster. Then they had other competitors like Redbox that launched. So we have Solana, we have Avalanche, we have other quicker ones out there that are launching compared to ETH. And then that, just added to the addition market share, that dilution that Blockbuster would face. Then, despite the rise of Netflix and Redbox, Blockbuster was at its peak in 2004. So we saw the rise of Solana and Avalanche last bull cycle, and we're seeing it again. And during that, ETH had a good year. ETH was, up to close to $5,000 last bull cycle. And if it wasn't for, all the FUD that happened, it probably would have went even higher. So would Bitcoin. But after that, things started coming down, right? But the company started making major changes in the early 2000s that would ultimately lead to its downfall. Now, I'm not saying the changes will lead to a downfall. We know that ETH switched to proof of stake, which is good. Implemented some upgrades that led to ETH being deflationary. So all these things are good, right? But in 2004, Viacom parted ways with Blockbuster. That same year, the company launched Blockbuster Online, but it was already behind Netflix. At the same time, Blockbuster decided to end late fees, and it also lost more money, but all of that, it was already done, right? They lost market share, and pretty much the technology was out of date, and people found something that was cheaper, and they get their movies and everything quicker. They didn't have to go to a brick and mortar. They could do it online and get it via mail. It was just the necessity was quicker and it was cheaper. And that's what led to the demise. I just see a lot of similarities between Blockbuster and Netflix. To me, I would say that ETH is currently Blockbuster. And I think Solana and some of the others are Netflix. And, right now, that's why I decided to put most of my money into Sol. So I currently do not own any ETH. Everything's into Sol. I'm a firm believer in that. And that's my position. I have a number in mind that I want to get a certain amount of Sol tokens. And I want to get some of the projects as far as Pith that I talked about in my investment portfolio. And then the next year, I'm going to still, build bags of my other altcoins that I like a lot. But we'll see. Maybe this video will date and I'll look like a complete idiot, or I'll look like a genius. But that's my video for today, guys. I hope you enjoy the holiday weekend. And until next time, thank you for spending some time with me. Later. Bye.